is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome to the MorganMan Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan. Here on the MorganMan Sports Podcast, we talk Atlanta Falcons news, pre-game predictions, and all other news surrounding the Atlanta Falcons.
Touchdown, Atlanta!
Also on the podcast, we talk Call of Duty League, esports, covering Roster Mania, major predictions, COD champs, player trades, and much more to get you ready for every single CDL weekend.
Scuff goes through, and Scuff snaps, wins the one-on-one in optic with the reverse sweep.
If that sounds good with you, put on your Falcons jersey, grab your gaming headset, and let's get this show started. What is going on, you guys? I'm your host, Stacy Cole Morgan, and you are listening to the MorganMan Sports Podcast here on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Goodbye HQ, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are getting straight into things with the Atlanta Falcons visiting the Carolina Panthers this Sunday, October 13th at 4:25 p.m. Eastern. Guys, the Atlanta Falcons are coming off a huge, and I mean a huge, division rival matchup on Thursday Night Football last week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defeating the Bucs 36-30 in overtime. But Kirko Chains with 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. Guys, that was enough to earn him, I believe, the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for the entire NFL as a whole. So that was amazing. He's the only quarterback right now in week 5, week 6 right in here to actually throw for that many yards in one game. And that's what I was talking about last week on the podcast is if the Falcons are going to win that game against the Buccaneers, they're really going to have to rely on the passing game because that Bucs secondary was so weak. And it showed. The Atlanta Falcons offense definitely attacked that secondary, got that many yardage and touchdowns. Now, the run game, there was some bright spots right in there, but still, Bijan and Tyler Algier still was a little bit limited. I think Bijan's longest run was 11 yards, and Tyler's was like maybe 6. Don't quote me on that, but I believe those were the numbers. But again, the passing game, you got Kyle Pitts involved, Drake London, Rondale Moore. I mean, all of them. I mean, you got Darnell Mooney, for example, too. So the guys were all over the field for the Atlanta Falcons last week. But we turned the page to the Carolina Panthers, who are not looking very good, guys. I'm sitting here and telling you that this game right here could be a blowout in favor of the Atlanta Falcons. So let's see what the stats and preview say. So for the Atlanta Falcons, the Falcons are coming in 3-2, 3 wins, 2 losses. And the Panthers are coming in with 1 win, 4 losses. For Vegas betting odds, and this is my phone making some noise right now, but the Atlanta Falcons are favored as a -6 point favorite over the Carolina Panthers. So that is pretty darn insane. And people are taking the Atlanta Falcons on a 90% public bet at that -6. Did open up as a -3 for the Atlanta Falcons, but it quickly moved up to a -6. So that is 6 practically touchdowns in favor over Carolina. Moneyline is a -270 in favor of Atlanta at a 93% public bet. And the current over and under is sitting at 47 with Vegas telling you to take the over and a 68% public bet. So people do think that the Atlanta Falcons are really going to stomp all over the Carolina Panthers this Sunday. And going into the stats right here, it looks very, and I mean very promising. So the Falcons offense has now moved into the top 10, sitting at number 10 overall for total offense. 5th in passing and 26th while running the ball. So we definitely need to work on that run game, and this is a weekend to definitely do so against the Panthers. as they are the 27th best run defense in the National Football League, 22nd against the pass. So you really don't want to humiliate the Panthers too much, because it all does come down to respect and sportsmanlike conduct in the NFL. But the entire Panthers defense is 28th sitting overall in the National Football League. And for this defense, man, I feel bad for Andy Dalton and company right here, because the Falcons defense is 18th best overall, 7th against the pass, but 29th against the run. So if the Panthers, if they even have a shot, which I'm not sitting here saying that they don't, but if they do, it's going to be in the run game, because our run defense is just not there right now like it was back last year with Arthur Smith being the head coach. Yes, I know he was offensive coordinator and, everything like that, but Ryan Nielsen, our former DC, he was great against that run defense. So now, since we lost him, we've exchanged it for the secondary being the best secondary in the National Football League, but not the best against the run. So that does hurt us a little bit right there. That's why we're sitting 18th overall. I just want to tell you that that's why we're 18th overall in the National Football League. Not because of the passing in that secondary, but it is against that run. If we could fix that this Sunday against the Panthers, because they are the 19th best run offense in the National Football League, we do have a shot to at least move that needle up just a little bit more to about maybe the 23rd, 22nd best team in the National Football League, and just do so each and every single week and get better over time. But Andy Dalton or Bryce Young, whoever's going to be playing, I believe it's going to be Andy Dalton, they're going to have a field day with interceptions happening just left and right for the Atlanta Falcons, picking them off. So guys, what do you think about this matchup this week? Do you think that the Atlanta Falcons can win this by 6 touchdowns or 6 points, however you want to really place it in Vegas right here? But again, the odds are -6 in favor of Atlanta, being some heavy road favorites. This has still been the longest time that we've been heavy favorites like this. Gosh, I want to say at least 2016, 2015, right in there. But guys, I sure hope you did enjoy. And if you did, make sure to like button wherever you are listening from, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you find your preferred podcast. But until then, Kirko Morgan, will catch you all later. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this Belly Up Sports Podcast Network product. Some said we go belly up, so we made it our name, and we're still here.